Hello everyone and welcome to the third lecture of this self-knowledge course, in which we will learn everything related to astral projection or astral unfolding or astral travel, as we could also call it. We will see what it is about and how useful this practice is for our inner work. We'll see what can we do with this tool. Also, we will disprove some misconceptions that exist in relation to this practice, and we will see different techniques to achieve it. And of course, all the steps to do the practice. So first, let's start by explaining why is it called astral unfolding. It is called unfolding because it consists of taking out an internal double or soul, a body exactly the same as the physical one. Is not of a cellular nature like the physical one, but rather of a molecular nature. And since it is of a different nature, it has different properties. For example, that body can stretch and then return to its original state. So if we are unfolded and we stretch a finger to check if we are in the physical or in the astral, if we are in the astral dimension, the finger stretches. Also, with this body being of a lighter nature, we can fly. We can go through walls. So if we are in the astral and we jump, we can remain floating in the air. Or if we try to go through a wall or any object with our hand, we can do it. And the reason why it is called astral is because with it we can travel to all the celestial bodies or astros or another planets. The astral unfolding is nothing paranormal or strange. It is actually a completely natural process that occurs every time our physical body falls asleep. Every time we fall asleep, we go to the astral world, also known as the fifth dimension or the dreams world. And we usually do it unconsciously. So here we learn to do it consciously in order to take advantage of this useful practice to advance in our inner work. All the experiences we have there in the astral world is what we remember and call as dreams. When we go to that astral world, as we usually do in an unconscious state, we start projecting our desires and ego. And also we start repeating all the things we did during the day, even if we can't remember when we wake up. The most common thing is to remember those things that don't match with the things we did in the day. Something that is going to help us a lot to achieve being conscious in the astral world is that we make an effort to awaken our consciousness, that we begin to live in a state of full attention and not losing it during the day. And as we repeat during the sleep what we did in the day, certainly staying conscious and concentrated during the day will help us to have that same state of attention during the sleep in the astral world. And for this, we will use the practice of psychological death on march. So we can be eliminating during the day all the defects that distract us and also make our mind to bake. And also, as our consciousness is asleep, we do not realize that we are out of our body. We do not realize that we are dreaming, no matter how absurd the dream may be. For example, we can see someone flying, and that doesn't call us to realize that we are in a dream. Or we can be in another country or any other strange place or doing any extraordinary thing. However, many people, even without having heard of this topic, have already experienced knowing that they are in a dream, or even having left their physical body and have seen it lying down in the bed, sleeping. Many people call it also as a lucid dream. So, what can we use astral projection for? First of all, when we achieve astral unfolding, we realize we are more than this physical body. Then we realize that there are more dimensions besides this third dimension in which our physical body develops. The information that we can obtain in the astral world is unlimited. Unfolding is in itself a very important tool for self-knowledge. Actually, we can investigate whatever we want. In the astral world, we can connect with our own immortal and eternal being. So by connecting with that higher part of our consciousness, we could solve those existential questions such as, what is the purpose of my existence? What happens when we die? We can investigate our past lives. Also, we can investigate in which of our 108 existences in this cycle we are currently in. We can visit a relative or friend who has passed away. We can go to the court of objective justice and see the book of our karmic debts. We can meet the superior parts of our consciousness, our internal father and mother. We can verify with our divine mother the process of psychological death. How is the work with a certain defect going? We can visit a temple of wisdom. We can also investigate if there is life in other planets. We can visit places on this planet. If we don't have a couple, we can ask our being, who is that person that is going to help us with the creation of our internal existential bodies. We can meet masters of the White Lodge and receive wisdom from them. We can verify if someone that calls himself a master is really a true master. We can also investigate religions and esoteric schools to see if they are pure and good. We can even investigate this knowledge to see if it is true and pure and corroborate everything we'll be learning along this course. These are just some examples of things that we can investigate in a conscious astral projection. The important thing is to use this technique for our self-knowledge and spiritual development. Also, it's good to know that there are several investigations that require certain merits or dharma. So we need to have a certain amount of dharma, which we will earn by helping others to awake. So now let's clear out some of the misconceptions that exist in relation to this practice. For example, some say it is a dangerous practice. It is important to know that our soul and our physical body are connected by the silver cord, which is an unbreakable and expandable cord that unites both bodies, the physical and the astral. And that silver cord can only be broken by the death ray at the moment of the death of the physical body, as we saw in the previous topic. Therefore, the rumors and myths about certain dangers during the astral travel are invalid and unfounded, such as that we can stay in the astral and not being able to return to the physical, or that when we return, someone else could have taken possession of our body. That is totally impossible due to that energetic cord. Some say it's hard to achieve. And the truth is that this practice is possible for everyone. And it turns out to be that precisely believing the concept that it is difficult makes it difficult for us to achieve it, since what we believe we create. Therefore, if we focus on the fact that this is a difficult or complicated or a dangerous practice, these concepts will prevent us from succeeding. If we do the practice believing beforehand that we won't make it, we certainly won't make it. And if we do the practice with fear, fear will block our access, since the astral is totally related to our emotions. Another misconception is that this is only for spiritually advanced people, and that's not true either. We can all achieve conscious astral projection, even though the more you advance in your process of self-knowledge, the more in-depth research you will be able to carry out. That's true. Some say that we should not practice this because it is something negative or even diabolical. Although it is true that there are malicious people who use this practice for evil purposes, such as stealing energy from other people, the practice will be positive or negative depending on the good or bad use we give to it, depending on our intentions. Here, we are teaching this practice to advance in our process of self-knowledge and the development of our own consciousness. In addition, we always recommend doing this practice asking for the guidance of our inner being, which represents wisdom and love. There are many ways to do this, many techniques we could apply, so I'll list a few that work perfectly. The first is by concentration. This practice consists of concentrating on something, for example, on the rhythm of our breathing or on the beat of our heart, and keeping all our concentration focused on it, while our physical body falls asleep and we begin to feel the symptoms of the unfolding. The second is with the imagination. If we are good at imagining, this technique is perfect and consists of imagining a place in the most vivid and detailed way possible. For example, you can imagine your living room, or you can imagine a beach, and you imagine everything in detail. Imagine the sand, the feeling of the sand on your feet, the sea, the wine, the feeling of the wine on your face, the sun, the heat of the sun. And by doing this in great detail, we will suddenly find ourselves projected in that place, but in a conscious state. The third is the vigil of the dream. This technique is excellent for those who fall asleep very easily. It consists only of monitoring the arrival of symptoms that indicate that the physical body has fallen asleep. And if we snore, for example, we can even hear the snoring of the physical body while we are conscious there. We remain concentrated, feeling the body, and we are going to begin to feel several symptoms, and we are going to be able to realize that the physical body has fallen asleep, and we are going to get out of bed in the astral body, and we are going to verify that we are unfolded. For example, giving a jump with the intention of floating. If we are in the astral, we will remain floating, or we could also stretch out a finger. And if it stretches, then we will realize that we are in the astral world. We could even look at the bed and see our physical body asleep. The fourth technique is practicing psychological death. This technique is very good because it consists of eliminating all the defects that are manifesting at that moment, whether they are thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, worries, fears, anxiety, all those things that begin to appear in our mind and in our body and that do not allow us to concentrate enough to achieve the unfolding. So, as soon as we observe any of these details, we are going to ask our Divine Mother to eliminate it, and we immediately return to concentration until we begin to feel the symptoms. And the last technique is singing mantras. This is probably the most effective of all. It consists of emitting sounds that will generate a certain vibration in our body that will accelerate the unfolding process. So now I'm going to explain the practice step by step and list several mantras that we can use to achieve the astral unfolding. So the first step is to choose a comfortable position to fall asleep. It is preferable to use the supine position, since in that position it is easier to feel the symptoms. But if it is impossible for you to fall asleep in that position, you can choose another, okay? The second step is to clean and energetically close the place where we are. We can do this with a chant of belly limb, and the closing we do it with a magic circle of protection. I will be teaching these protection conjurations in lecture 7. The belly limb chant will cleanse the environment of any negative energy that could distract us from the practice, and the magic circle will close the place so that those negative energies cannot return. Also, these conjurations will help us to avoid sleep paralysis. Then we ask our inner being to assist us during the practice and help us to succeed. And then we set ourselves an objective to achieve for when we are unfolded. The objective is what we are going to do or investigate in the astral world. Then we proceed to relax. The relaxation is very important because it puts us in an optimal state so that we can easily feel the symptoms of the unfolding. To relax the mind, we are going to focus on listening to distant sounds in the environment for at least 1 minute without thinking about them or becoming identified with them. To relax the emotion, we are going to inhale deeply, and then we are going to exhale through our mouth. We are going to repeat this as many times as necessary until we feel the emotional center relaxed. And to relax the physical body, you can visualize how a green bright light relaxes all the parts of your body from bottom to top, starting with your right foot. You visualize it, you feel it, and you command your foot to relax and calm down. So you will do with all the other parts of your body. After relaxing, then you proceed to use the technique that you have chosen. If you use the mantra technique, there are several mantras from which we can choose to achieve the unfolding. For example, there is the mantra that sounds fa, ra. When we make that sound, we concentrate on the area between the eyebrows and we can imagine a pyramid there. Another mantra that we could use is La Ras. With this one, also we concentrate on the area between the eyebrows, but we visualizing a violet light there. Another mantra that we can use is O, concentrated in the heart. Also the sound Om, concentrated in the heart too. These mantras are very useful for people that doesn't fall easily asleep. Another mantra that we can use is concentrated in the larynx. This one is very useful for people that falls easily asleep. There are many other mantras to achieve the unfolding, but these are very, very effective. It is important to keep in mind that we should use only one mantra per practice, since each mantra has a specific vibration, and if we change mantras in the same practice, we will mix the vibrations and it will not work. You need to mantralize slowly and lengthening each syllable. You can repeat the mantra out loud about 10 to 12 times. Then you keep repeating the mantra in your mind until you start feeling the symptoms. When your astral body is separating from your physical body, you may feel any of these symptoms. You can feel your body inflating. You can feel that you are floating. You may feel your body sway gently as if you are being rocked. You can feel your legs and arms rising or floating. You may feel also a sensation of electric current. You can feel that you are spinning at high speed. You can feel a noise next to your ears, or you can consciously appear in a dream. So what should we do when we feel these symptoms? We need to control our emotion and relax. Okay, don't panic or feel euphoric, but relax even more and allow the symptom to escalate. When we feel that the symptom is strong enough, we get up and check if we are already unfolded. We can do this by jumping with the intention of floating, stretching out a finger, or trying to go through something with our hand. If upon checking you find that you are still in the physical body because you didn't float or your finger didn't stretch, then you return to bed and continue using the technique until you feel the symptoms again. If when you stand up to check and you remain floating or your finger stretches, it means that you are in the astral plane. Then you remember your objective and go for it. So this is the practice of astral unfolding. The secret is to practice with a lot of patience until you achieve it. And remember that wanting is power. Well, in our next topic, we will be studying lecture number 4, the 7 centers of the human machine. We are going to learn what is a center of energy, what are their functions, what is the actual state those centers currently are, how to align and balance these energy centers, and how to correctly manage the most valuable resource we have, which is our energy. So, see you in the next lecture.